Okay, well, this is what we're up to today. This is the battery tray for the Roadrunner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trunk mount the battery. I'm still going to use the pre-existing tray. What I'm going to do is just take this off, clean it up, put some of the stuff on it that I've been using for the fender, kill the rust, and then paint it. And then we'll stick it in. But that's my goal with that. Thanks.
What I'm about to do here is I'm going to drill a hole through here to match this hole, roughly, and drill a hole through here to make it bolt to the floor pan of the trunk. I'll use these two pre-existing holes for bolts. Hopefully, or whatever. God, the wind is bad today. So let me get you repositioned. We're doing this by hand, so it's going to get ugly. What I give for advice. And we're probably going to start fast forwarding this right about now. Get ready for the funky music. We're going to roll with that, kids. Oh, God. That's a cream puff. So well organized, you can tell my son used it last. Alright. Frickin' orangutan. I'll catch you later.
Yeah, I figure we go with some of these here screws. It's about a 7/16. That's actually probably about 5/16. Screw bolts, whatever you want to call them today. Probably go with some larger ones for the back. I don't know, but I'm just gonna put some bolts through it. I probably should put some kind of rubber underneath it so they don't leak, but for now they're getting what they're getting, and then I'll get some rubber washers and put them on the bottom or the top or both. But the goal right now is to get the thing started, get it running. I still got to pull the gas tank back out anyhow and do some work underneath the car, so it's not like I'm not going to get it done. I will do it because I'm weird like that. I won't let it go. But let me get this mounted, and then we can at least stick the battery in the back. Here's what I got going on. I know you probably can't see as well as I'd like you to, but we've got our 3 holes drilled, or 1 hole drilled, and then I'm going to drill the other 2 holes after I fasten this down, so that it's more accurate. So we're going to stick this here, put this bolt through it, and by some miracle, I'm going to get some tentacle arms, try to get a nut and bolt on the bottom side and see if that tightens. I'm only one man. Therapy, she be mounted for now. That makes my day. All right. It don't look too bad. Say what you will, I don't care. I got it done. Now all I got to do is drill a hole right here, mount a ground to the frame, because the frame's sitting right here, which works for me. And I'm gonna have to figure out whether I want to route the cable inside the car. I probably will, and then back up around here behind the back seat and underneath, either go over top or underneath the hinge, and then right to there. Hopefully I got enough cable coming. Well, I'll know tomorrow. All right, have a good one. You know, this is pretty simple right here. All I got to do is drill a hole through the frame rail on the bottom where the lip is, and then just mount the negative terminal. So that's not a big deal. I'm not going to even put the negative terminal through the floor. I'm just going to mount it right to the frame rail from where it attaches to the trunk pan. That should work. No, God, I found a hole in the dash, or in the firewall, that was pre-existing, because God knows who had this car before me thought it was a good idea to drill holes everywhere, and I've been patching holes since I've had it. You can't see. Oh, you see that little light? That's it. There's a hole right there. So I'm going to try to run it through there, enlarge that hole, and see what happens. I got to get in this thing and crawl around. God, boy, I'm too old for this stuff, guys. I really am. But it's a sick love affair. That thing's gonna be right there. So never mind all this wiring. It's not that bad. I just haven't had a chance to put it up, because I rewired a lot of stuff in this car so it wouldn't catch on fire. Some of this stuff has to wrap around the floppy thingy. Yeah. All right. Let me get to this. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, I'm not real happy with the thickness of this wire. I could swear it said it was thicker, but obviously I read something wrong. Well, let's get it together, see how it does. If it'll crank, it cranks. It doesn't, it doesn't. I'll put a jump box on it and eventually replace the wire again. But I like where I got my ground, believe it or not. I know it's a distance from the battery, but at least it's obvious and I can see it. It's right, not a, so yeah, I could put it closer, but you know what? It's through the frame rail. It should be fine. We should have no problems. Let me see about getting this positive on the starter. It's being a nightmare. Well, looks like it's gonna work. I know the wire's just dangling, dingly dank, but it's all the way back to the battery. It's to the starter. It's a little, I think the battery's a little dead. Hopefully that's the only thing that's wrong. Because I know I rolled it over by hand, so we had no issue with that. But yeah, I mean, at least it's attached. I'm gonna have to go through and make it better, but it's gonna work. God, I wish these wires were a little thicker, but they are what they are. And then if it's hot, I think his battery's a little dead too. I'll take that off. I still got to tighten the starter wire a little bit better, but I'm rather impressed that I got that far that quick. Let's see if this wire's getting hot at all. Nah. And I know it isn't. It's still loose. It's definitely still loose on the starter. But it cranks. Everything's good. So, yeah, there's still a lot to do. But that's done for now. Alright. Okay, this is where I'm at. This ground absolutely sucks. I'm going to put a thicker cable on with a better ground. Because once I added a ground 2 of the battery onto the body with a set of jumper cables, it wanted to crank a whole lot better. So this battery might be hurt a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the jump box back on it. I'm going to give it a better ground. So I got some good ground straps here. And I'll see what happens. Alright, it appears it was just all crappy connections, because once I take the battery, put it here, run the wires, the thicker wires obviously, across the starter, seems to be taking care of the problem. I think the main problem is just the wires I got from eBay are garbage. It's eBay strikes again. Yeah, that's a huge difference in how it's cranking. So I just got to get some good wires. It wasn't actually eBay, it was Amazon, and I looked at, yeah, I messed up. So here we go. I got to back up and punt, and I do have some better gauge cables here already. I got to build them, so I'll take care of that later. Okay, this is what we got going in the dungeon today. Right now I am trying to get the power steering set up so that it'll work. I have to take the wiring apart and put a grommet in the firewall so I don't have a fire, because that rubber line is rubbing right on it. And yeah, that's the 1 gauge wire I'm running from the battery. I'll show you what I got going on over there. But yeah, that's where that's at. And also I'm gonna finish the throttle cable, which you can see the bracket that's painted orange. I have to take the throttle cable back off of that and then attach it to the pedal and then route it back up to it. So that'll be done shortly, and I'll have show you what that looks like when it's done. But let's go to the trunk. Well, I can show you on the inside. You can see the wire coming through the floor pan. I have to have something, a sheath over it eventually, so it doesn't rub into anything. It's something to hold it down. But yeah, I got it routed through there. I have to shorten it, unfortunately. But oops, got all this junk in the way. Hold on. And then there's the battery fastened down proper. This is the crappy one. I mean, look at the difference in size. And I read I mean, they're just full of crap. It is not what they're advertising isn't what you're getting, obviously. Okay. But yeah, I got to shorten this because it's way too long, but that's not a big deal. And this is the ground strap, which is obviously much more beefier than what I did have before. So with those two said and done, we won't have much further to go before I can call this complete. I do need to put some kind of switch to turn this thing off somewhere in the car so that if something does happen, I have a way to immediately flip the juice off so the car don't burn down in case that 1 gauge wire rubs through somewhere. But yep, that's all I got for now. I'll keep you posted.